In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear brakes on this Chevy Silverado 2500. Let's install these brand new TRQ brakes. Let's remove the wheel. First, if your truck has these, remove your center caps with a 22mm socket. These are just plastic mounting nuts, so be careful with them. You don't want to break them. Take this off and set it aside. Now remove all 8 of your 22mm lug nuts. If your wheel is stuck like this one, put one lug nut back on for safety, and then take a rubber mallet and tap it with that rubber mallet on the tire, not on the rim, from the backside. There we go. The lug nut held that wheel on so it doesn't fall off. Now take it off and remove the wheel. With a 21mm socket, let's remove the entire caliper and bracket assembly off of the rear axle. You cannot separate these unless you have a very shallow tool that'll fit in here, and I don't. So I'm going to take the whole thing off and split it apart once it's up on the leaf spring. Once again, 21mm socket. I'm going to leave this bolt in a couple turns to hold the caliper while I take off the top bolt, which unfortunately I cannot fit a power tool in, so I'm going to have to do that one by hand. Have a long ratchet or a long breaker bar ready to break this free. Take this bolt out, support the caliper, take the lower bolt out. Flip the caliper over on top of the leaf spring. Make sure you don't pull on this brake hose and put no pressure on it. It will damage it if you do that. At this point, you should be able to pull the rotor off. However, ours is seized on this hub, so I'm going to put in 2 bolts. They're 8x125 thread. Thread them in until they bottom out into these threaded holes here, and this is going to help you pull the rotor off. So as you thread these bolts in, it'll push on the hub, push the rotor off. Go back and forth. This should apply even pressure. All right, that's off. Take my bolts out. Take the rotor off. Now let's clean the hub surface where the rotor sits so that when I put the rotor on, it is nice and flat. I don't want any rust buildup here. Mine doesn't look too bad. The rotor was a little bit stuck on here, so I'm going to focus on this ridge here where the rotor actually sits on the center of the hub. But the rest of it is actually in good condition, so I'm not too worried once again. If you need to sand it down, be very careful not to remove too much material. I'm just going to go in with a wire brush and clean it up. Rinse this off with brake parts cleaner. Now it's a good idea to coat this with an anti-corrosive coating. I like to use anti-seize for this. Try not to get it on the lug studs. Let's put the rotor on. I like to put it on backwards so we can clean it. I like to clean the inner surface as well as the outer braking surface here. I guess this would be the inner braking surface, but if you have rotors that are flat, these are drilled and slotted rotors and they are coated with a special non-oil based coating, but I still like to clean them up. If you have the flat rotors, they will be coated with oil, so you want to wipe all that oil off with brake parts cleaner and a clean rag. Spray this down where the parking brake shoes ride and on the outside. Wipe it off. There should be some oil coming off on your rag. Not so much for this one, but I did at least get some debris off of here. Flip it around. Let's do the same on this surface here. Now, let's take the pads out. I'm going to remember that this is the outer pad. It does not have a wear indicator. I know these are fairly new pads here. You can stick a small pry bar through this opening, and usually you can pry the inner pad out, just like so. This one does have a wear indicator, so make sure you put that back, and it usually goes on the bottom. It's because the caliper sits on the back side of the rotor, it'll go on the bottom of it. Now we have to separate the bracket from the caliper. You have two ways of doing this. You can just push this apart like that, although that is not my preferred method, even though it will work. I prefer to take these boots off, these little caps, and unscrew the slider pins. I know you can take them out with the caliper bracket, but I like to do that to inspect them fully, including on the threads, and then relubricate everything, clean everything the best I can. And at the end, the most important part is to make sure they are fully torqued as they should be, and I don't know what they're at now, which is why I like to take them off. Hopefully that makes sense. Take a pocket screwdriver and very gently pry these out. Try not to break them. If you damage these boots, you will have to source new ones. These protect the slider pin hole here from water and other debris. Once you take these off, you'll see a 10mm Allen-headed bolt in there, which is actually your slider pin. So let's remove that. Take a 10mm Allen socket, put it in here, and unthread them. Oftentimes, if these are seized, you'll have a hard time taking this out. You can heat up along here a little bit, but just be very careful because you can cause other damage. You can also use rust penetrant, but hopefully yours are not very seized. All right, this is what these look like. This is all separated now. I can take these out, keep them on their corresponding side, so I'm going to remember that the furthest one away, as I look at this caliper here, will not have a rubber bushing. It's just a solid piece of machined steel, whereas this one here does have a rubber bushing. So I'm going to put them back exactly where they came from. Lift up the caliper bracket and set it aside on your workbench. I'm going to put a pad in here just to take up the slack, and now I'm going to compress these pistons in to make space for new pads. I'm going to use my caliper depression tool. If you have something else that does this job, go ahead and use that. Just be very careful. You want to go slow and push these back until they bottom out right about here. Obviously mine are fairly new, so there isn't much to go back, but typically if they are worn, you would go back quite a bit. Let's set this back on the leaf spring, get our caliper bracket prepared for reinstallation. Now with the caliper bracket on the workbench, let's pop off the anti-rattle clips. If it's rusty, you might need some prying tools or pliers or whatever you have that'll get these off of here. Take all four off, and we're going to have to clean the caliper bracket. Of course, mine is in good condition. However, I will show you exactly what to do if yours was very rusty. You would want, if there is any grease on there left, you would want to wipe it off with a clean rag, and then take your wire brush this entire area until it looks as clean as possible. The trick here is to get things as flat and as clean as possible because rust swells up. When it swells, it actually pushes these anti-rattle clips up, and then it basically pinches the pads and they cannot move smoothly in and out. That'll cause braking issues. So obviously mine is clean, so I will continue, but you would do this on both top and bottom on all four corners. I'm using high temperature silicone paste that is rated for brakes. Put a thin layer on here. This is just to prevent corrosion, prevent rust from building up. If it's too much, like it is right here, I'm going to try to wipe it off a little bit. Try not to put too much on because it'll squish onto the inboard side of the caliper bracket here where the rotor rides. You don't want grease on your rotors, of course. Slide the anti-rattle clips on. Make sure the hook, as you can see, they all have this hook. They will all look the same, all four, but you want to make sure the hook is towards the outside. You can see there's a hole provided here for this one, and then here that kind of just goes around the caliper bracket. And you want to do the same on the other side as well. Inspect your slider pins and make sure they're in good condition. If they are rusted, try to clean them up with a wire wheel. Usually you can reuse them unless they're severely pitted, and then you want to get new ones. But then also the bore on the caliper side is going to be damaged, so try to inspect that. And this boot, a lot of times it swells over time. If it is swollen, you can get a boot kit and replace it. But if it's good, you can reuse it. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone paste on these, but not too much. I will put the rest of my lubrication in the caliper bore because this will actually get wiped off as I insert the slider pin. I just want a little bit so it can slide in smoothly, but the rest, like I said, I'm going to put in the caliper. Now take your silicone paste or brake grease, whatever you're using, and put it on the inside of this caliper bore here. The reason I like to do it this way and pull the slider pins out is because once I slide them in, they will push the grease into the boots on this side, and once it's in here, it'll act as a reserve of grease, so I don't have to worry about this running out. Remember which pin goes where? The one that did not have a rubber grommet, or a rubber bushing, I should say, goes on, as I'm looking at this, on the right side. Slide these in, and make sure they slide smoothly. It's very important. Perfect. Now we can get that bracket on. Get that bracket on here, line it up the best you can with the bolts, and start these in by hand. All right, this one starts on smoothly. Start this one on as well. Let's snug these up. The torque for these is 77 foot-pounds. However, I cannot hold this caliper, prevent it from moving around, and torque them at the same time. So I'm just going to make them nice and tight with my air gun. However, if you have a way of torquing these, go ahead and do that. Take these little caps, slide them on here. Make sure they seat well. Once again, this is what prevents water from getting in here and rusting everything out. Now get your pads in here, and you want to make sure you get the right pad on the right side. So the one with the wear indicator went on the bottom. Okay, there's one, and then the outer pad goes in here. You have to kind of shimmy it into position. There we go. Now we can get the caliper mounted back up on the axle. Now grab your caliper, slide it over the rotor. Okay. Start in the bottom. Snug these bolts up. The top will have to be done by hand because there's no space for an air tool. 221 is the torque for both of these bolts. There's one, and two. Let's get the wheel on. Put on all 8 of your lug nuts, bottom them out in a cross pattern, and then also in a cross pattern, we're going to torque them to 140 foot-pounds. Once again, 140 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. Put your center cap on if your truck has this, and with the same socket you used for the lug nuts, tighten these up just by hand, make them snug. These are plastic. If you strip them out once, they probably won't hold anymore, so just go in a cross pattern, that way this seats evenly. Tighten these up. They kind of click in place once they're locked in, so that's how you know.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.